Ghana Teacher Licensure Exams 2025. This is numeracy. So we have a diagnostic test on measurement. So under measurement, we are looking at these subtopics. We have measurement of money, measurement of mass, measurement of time, and capacity. So we have 10 multiple choice in this particular test. And then these questions have carefully been selected to cover these sub areas under measurement. So after we are done solving these questions, I'm sure in the main exams, when we come across similar questions, we would be able to solve such questions. So let's begin with question 1. Isaku bought a pen for 2 Ghana cedis 50 pesos and an eraser for 1 Ghana cedi 20 pesos. So we have the cost price of a pen, that is 2 Ghana cedis 50 pesos. We also have the cost of an eraser, that was giving us 1 Ghana cedi 20 pesos. Our goal is to find the total amount spent by Isaku. So the total amount spent by Isaku on these two items will be the sum of the cost of each of the items. So sum means addition. Sum goes with addition. So we have the cost of a pen, 2 Ghana cedis 50 pesos, plus the cost of an eraser, which is 1 Ghana cedi 20 pesos. So during the main exams, we know that calculators are allowed. So let's enter this information on the calculator and see our final result. So 2 Ghana cedi 50 pesos plus 1 Ghana cedi 20 pesos. So let's change it to decimals by pressing the SD symbol. So we have the total cost as 3 Ghana cedis 70 pesos. 3 Ghana cedis 70 pesos. So you have to add 0 to the 7 to make it 70 pesos. The right answer is option B. Question 2. Jane bought 2 pieces of erasers at 50 pesos each and 3 pens at 2 Ghana cedi each. So first of all, we know the cost price of one eraser. The cost price of one eraser was given as 50 pesos. And we know that 50 pesos can be represented in decimal form as 0.50 Ghana cedis. So that is the decimal form of representing 50 pesos, 0.50. We also know the cost price of a pen, that is 1 pen. The cost price of a pen was given as 2 Ghana cedis. 2 Ghana cedis. So the next thing we do is that let's find the cost price of 2 erasers. The cost price of 2 erasers. So the cost price of 2 erasers will be 2 times 50 pesos. 2 times 50 pesos. We know that 2 multiplied by 50 pesos will give us 1 Ghana cedi. So if an eraser costs 50 pesos and then we are looking for the cost of 2 erasers, it is clear that that will be 1 Ghana cedis. Now let's also find the cost price of 3 pence. The cost price of 3 pence. We know that the cost price of a pen is 2 Ghana cedis. And then Jane bought 3 pence. So the cost price of 3 pence will be 3 multiplied by 2 Ghana cedis. And this will give us 6 Ghana cedis. So that is the cost price of 3 pence. So the next thing we do is that let's find the total cost of all the items bought by Jane. So we are looking at the total cost of 2 erasers, and 3 pence. Total cost of 2 erasers and 3 pence. So that will be their sum. Remember, sum goes with addition. So the cost price of 2 erasers, we have 1 Ghana cedi, plus the cost price of 3 pence, we have 6 Ghana cedis. So the cost price of 2 erasers and 3 pence will be 7 Ghana cedis. But we know that Jane paid with 10 Ghana cedis notes. So the total cost of all the items she bought was 7 Ghana cedis. Now she is paying with 10 Ghana cedi notes. So we want her change. So her change will be the difference. She paid with 10 Ghana cedis. All the items costs her 7 Ghana cedis. So change goes with difference, that is subtraction. So 10 Ghana cedis minus 7 Ghana cedis, we have 3 Ghana cedis. The right answer is option C. Question 3. A bus fare for students to participate in a field trip is 15 Ghana cedis per student. If 42 students sign up for the trip, then which of the following expressions can be used to find the total cost in Ghana cedis? So we have 42 students who signed up for the trip. In other words, 42 students agreed to participate in the field trip. And we know that the cost per head is 15 cedis. That is, each student is supposed to pay 15 Ghana cedis. So first of all, let's calculate the total cost of the 42 students. So to get this understanding, let's take it from this angle. Let's say we have 2 towns, town A and then town B. And then the cost of a fare from town A to town B is, let's say, 10 Ghana cedis. And then we have a car, or let's say a bus, that contains 15 students. What will be the total cost of the fare for the 15 students? So that will be 150 cedis. 15 students, the cost per head is 10 Ghana cedis. So the cost for 15 students will be 150 Ghana cedis. How did we get the 150 Ghana cedis? So you just multiply the number of students by the cost per head. You know that the cost per head is 10 Ghana cedis. So 15 times 10 Ghana cedis, that will give us 150 cedis. This time, the cost per head is 15 cedis, and then we have 42 students. So what will be the total cost for the 42 students? So as we saw in this example, we just have to multiply the total number of students, in this case 42, by the cost per head. The cost per head is 15 cedis. So what is 42 multiplied by 15 cedis? We have 630 Ghana cedis. So 630 Ghana cedis. But then we are not looking at the actual money. We are looking for an expression from these four alternatives that will give us this total cost for the 42 students. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to pick each of the alternatives, simplify, and see the results. From there, we compare the result to 630 cedis and see which of them will be the right answer. So let's start with the first one. So for option A, we have 42 plus 10. We also have plus 42 plus 5. So with the help of the calculator, let's see. We have open brackets 42 plus 10 plus 42 plus 5. So this is giving us 99 Ghana cedis. So let's get the answer for option A. Now let's also verify that of B. So for B, we have 42 multiplied by 10 plus 42 multiplied by 5. So let's verify this one too and see. So the only thing that is changing is the sign in brackets. Instead of addition, we have multiplication. So we will change this one to multiplication. So we have 42 times 10 plus 42 times 5. Let's see the result. 630 Ghana cedis. We have B giving us 630 cedis. Now to remove every doubt, let's also continue working for option C and D. So for option C, we have 42 plus 10 multiplied by 42 plus 5. So we are going to change the sign in brackets addition. This one will change to multiplication, and then this one will change to addition. So we have 42 plus 10 multiplying 42 plus 5. Let's see the result. 2,444 cedis. 2,444 cedis. The last one, option D. 42 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 42 multiplied by 5. Let's see. So we are changing every operation sign to multiplication. So this one is already in multiplication. Let's change this one to multiplication and see the result. We have 888,200. Sorry, I think we have 88,200. So 88,200. So it is clear that it is only option B, that is the expression for option B, that will help us find the total cost in Ghana cedis. Question 4. An object weighs 40.24 kilograms. What is the mass of this load in grams? So the weight of the object was given as 40.24 kilograms. But we want this weight in terms of grams. So to get the weight in terms of grams, then we need to convert 40.24 kilograms to grams. But first of all, what is the relationship between kilograms and grams? We know that every 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. Every 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. Now we have 40.24 kilograms. So this must also give us a certain weight in grams. That is, if 1 kilogram is giving us 1,000 grams, then 40.24 kilograms must also give us a certain weight in grams. So at this point, we can apply proportion. That is, if more, then less will divide. So we have 40.24 kilograms divided by 1 kilogram multiplying 1,000 grams. So kilograms will cancel out. And then 40.24 divided by 1 is the same as 40.24. So we have 40.24 multiplying 1,000 grams. Let's see our final result. 40.24 multiplying 1,000 grams. 40240. So we have 40,240 grams. 40,240 grams. The right answer is option D. Question 5. Sir Akon bought a cake weighing 3 kilograms 723 grams. So that was the initial weight of the cake. He distributed 1 kilogram 934 grams of the cake among the children in his residence. So he gave out 1 kilogram 934 grams of the initial weight of cake to children. Now they are asking us to find the quantity of cake that is left. So kilograms and grams. The initial weight of the cake was giving us 3 kilograms 723 grams. Now he gave out 1 kilogram 934 grams. Giving out goes with subtraction. Giving out goes with subtraction. So let's say you have 10 Ghana cedis and you give out 6 Ghana cedis to a friend. So initially you were having 10 Ghana cedis. You gave out 6 Ghana cedis to a friend. So what will be your balance? So your balance will be the difference. So 10 Ghana cedis minus 6 Ghana cedis. That will give you 4 Ghana cedis. So initially the weight of the cake was 3 kilograms 723 grams. And then he gave out 1 kilogram 934 grams. So to get the quantity of cake that is left, that is, we have to subtract the two. We need to find the difference. So let's work out this subtraction and see the result. Now, let's begin with the grams column. 723 minus 934. So we have negative 211. But we cannot get negative. At this level, we cannot get negative. So we need to do something different. What do we do? So let's say you have this subtraction to perform. 25 minus, let's say, 9. 25 minus 9. So we know that 5 minus 9, that is negative 4. So since we cannot get negative, what do? We move on to the next column. We borrow 1. So borrowing 1 here becomes 10. Then 10 plus 5, that is 15. And then 15 minus 9, we have 6. We have already taken away 1. So we are left with 1, and then 1 minus 0, we have 1. So the final result is 16. So if this is giving us negative, what do? We move on to the next column, that is the kilograms column. We borrow 1. Remember that every 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. We know this. Every 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. So meaning that although we are borrowing 1 from the kilograms, once we get to the grams column, it becomes 1,000. 1,000, and then 1,000 plus 723. 1,000 plus 723, that is 1,723. So now, instead of 723, we have 1,723. So 1723 minus 934. So we have 1723 minus 934. 789. 789. Now we move on to the kilograms column. Remember, we have already borrowed 1 from 3. So we are left with 2. And then 2 minus 1, that is 1. So our final result will be 1 kilogram, 789 grams. The right answer is option D. Question 6. The duration of a film show is 3 hours 15 minutes. If the film show started at 6:30 p.m., when will the film show end? Let's say in a cinema, a movie is scheduled to start at exactly 7 o'clock p.m. And then we are told that this movie will take a duration of, let's say, 2 hours. Then can we tell the time when the film show will end? The start time is 7 o'clock p.m. and then the duration is 2 hours. So it is clear that the movie will end at exactly 9 o'clock p.m. So how did you get the 9 o'clock p.m.? So we just added the duration to the start time. So when you add 2 hours to 7, that will give us 9 o'clock p.m. So now with this particular movie, the start time, so we have hours and then minutes. The start time was 6:30 p.m. So 6 will be placed at the hour column and then 30 at the minute column. The duration was given as 3 hours 15 minutes. So again, 3 at the hours column, 15 at the minute column. Remember, we are looking at the time the film show will end. So we need to count on, that is addition. Or in other words, we need to add the duration to the start time. So let's work it out. Starting from the minutes column, 30 plus 15, 30 plus 15, we have 45, and then 6 plus 3, that is 9. So this translates into 9:45. So we are still in PM. 3 hours 15 minutes after 6:30 p.m. That is 9:45 p.m. The right answer is option B. Question 7. Sarah started her homework at 5:30 p.m. and finished it at 9:15 p.m. How much time did she take to finish her homework? So they're asking us to find the duration of her homework. That is how much time she spent doing her homework. So let's say Sarah started her homework at exactly 6 o'clock p.m. and then she finished her homework at exactly 9 o'clock p.m. Then can we calculate the duration of her homework. So from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So the duration will be 3 hours. The duration will be 3 hours. But then how did you get the 3 hours? So we just have to find the difference. The difference between the two times. So 9 o'clock minus 6 o'clock p.m. So that will give us 3 hours. So to find the duration, we just have to find the difference in time. So we have hour and then minutes. So from 5:30 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. So the bigger time will come first. So we have 9:15. So 9 will be placed at the hour column, 15 at the minute column. Then the start time 5:30. Because we are looking for the duration, we need to find the difference. Difference goes with subtraction. So let's start with the minute column. 15 minus 30. So 15 minus 30. Negative 15, which is impossible. We are not going to accept negative 15 as an answer at this point. So we need to do something different. So what we do is that we have to move on to the next column, which is the R column, and then we borrow 1. Now, because this is time, we know that every 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. Take note, every 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. Although we are borrowing 1 hour, once we get to the minutes column, it becomes 60. So we then add the 60 minutes to the 15 minutes. So 60 minutes plus 15 minutes, that will give us 75 minutes. So we have 75 minutes in place of 15 minutes. So 75 minutes minus 30 minutes. Let's check our answer. 75 minus 15, minus 30 minutes. 75 minutes minus 30 minutes. We have 45 minutes. So 45 minutes. We have already borrowed 1 from the 9 hours, leaving 8 hours. And then 8 minus 5. That is 3. So this tells us that Sarah spent 3 hours, 45 minutes doing her homework. 3 hours, 45 minutes. The right answer is option B. Question 8. The afternoon lectures in the school began at 1:30 p.m. There were 4 lessons of 45 minutes each and 1 break of 30 minutes. At what time did the afternoon section end? So, in the afternoon section, we are told that it began at exactly 1:30 p.m. Now, this was the sequence of occurrences for the afternoon lectures. First, there were 4 lessons. There were 4 lessons with a duration of 45 minutes each. So 4 different lessons, and then each lesson had a duration of 45 minutes. So let's calculate the duration for the entire 4 lessons. So if one lesson takes a duration of 45 minutes, then 4 lessons would take a duration of 4 multiplied by 45 minutes. 4 multiplied by 45 minutes. And then 4 multiplied by 45 minutes, we have 180 minutes. 180 minutes. And 180 minutes, when converted to hours, that is 3 hours, because we know that every 60 minutes, sorry, we know that every 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. So 180 minutes. So that is 180 minutes divided by 60 minutes multiplied by 1 hour. So the minutes will cancel out. So we have 180 divided by 60. So that is 3 hours. That is 3 hours. Now, there was also a 30-minute break. That is, through the entire afternoon lectures, there was one break with a duration of 30 minutes. So there was one break, and then this break had a duration of 30 minutes. So let's calculate the entire duration for the afternoon lectures. So the entire duration for the afternoon lectures, entire duration of the afternoon lectures. So we had 4 lessons, each taking up a duration of 45 minutes. So for the 4 lessons, the total time used was 3 hours. There was also one break with a duration of 30 minutes. So the entire duration of the afternoon lectures will be the sum of 3 hours and then 30 minutes. And that will give us 3 hours, 30 minutes. But then we are not looking at the duration for the entire afternoon lectures, but rather the time the afternoon lectures ended. So we know that the afternoon lectures started at exactly 1:30 p.m. So we have 1:30 p.m. So to calculate or to get the time the afternoon lectures ended, then we need to count 3 hours 30 minutes after 1 hour 30 minutes. So counting on goes with addition. Counting on goes with addition. So we need to count on 3 hours 30 minutes after 1:30 p.m. So 30 minutes plus 30 minutes That is 60 minutes. That is 60 minutes. But we are looking at time on the clock. So on the clock, we can have, let's say, 3:58 p.m. It is possible. We can have 3:59 p.m. But do we have 3:60 p.m. on the wall clock? No. 3:60 p.m. is the same as 4 o'clock p.m. So what is happening here? Anytime you get to 60 minutes, you have to convert the 60 minutes to hour. So the same approach. We know that 30 minutes plus 30 minutes, that is 60 minutes. But because we don't have 60 minutes on the wall clock, we have to convert the 60 minutes to hour. So that will give us 1 hour. So we'll be left with 0 at the minute column. So remember, we have an extra 1 hour. So 1 plus 3, that is 4. Then 4 plus the extra hour, making 5. So 3 hours, 30 minutes after 1:30 p.m., the time will still be in p.m. So we can conclude that the afternoon section ended at exactly 5 o'clock p.m. The right answer is option. Sorry, the right answer is option A. Question 9. A school bought 4 liters of liquid soap and used it to refill some 500 milliliters of empty bottles. So how many of these bottles were filled? So we have a school uh, who bought a liquid soap. Now, the capacity of the liquid soap was given as 4 liters. Now, their goal here was to use the 4 liters of liquid soap to refill some empty bottles. So they had some empty bottles, but then the capacity of each bottle measured 500 milliliters. Now they have 4 liters of liquid soap. So how many of such bottles will they be able to fill? So the first thing you could say is that you could see that the unit for the liquid soap was given in liters, and then the unit for the empty bottles was given in milliliters. So we have different units of capacity here. So we need to make sure that first of all, the units are the same. So I will prefer converting the liters to milliliters. That makes the calculation very easier. When you convert the larger unit to the smaller unit, that makes the calculation easier. So first of all, we need to convert 4 liters to milliliters. That is the first thing we are doing. Now, what is the relationship between liters and milliliters as a unit of capacity? Liters and milliliters. We know that every 1 liter is equivalent to 1000 milliliters. Every 1 liter is equivalent to 1000 milliliters. But this time we have 4 liters. So if 1 liter is giving us 1000 milliliters, then 4 liters must also give us a certain capacity in milliliters. So applying proportion, if more then less will divide. We have 4 liters divided by 1 liter multiplied by 1000 milliliters. So the liters will cancel out, leaving 4 multiplying 1000 milliliters. And then 4 multiplying 1000 milliliters, that is 4000 milliliters. So the capacity of the liquid soap in terms of milliliters is 4,000 milliliters. Now, our goal here is to refill this 4,000 milliliters into some empty bottles, with each bottle measuring 500 milliliters. So as we are pouring the 4,000 milliliters of liquid soap into the empty bottles, what are we doing? We are sharing. So we are sharing the 4,000 milliliters among 500 milliliters empty bottles. We know that sharing goes with division. Sharing goes with division. So to get the exact number of bottles that will be filled, we have to divide the 4,000 milliliters by the capacity of each of the empty bottles. That is 500 milliliters. So milliliters will cancel out. So what is 4,000 divided by 500? 4,000 divided by 500. So we have 8. We have 8, meaning that 8 bottles can be filled with the 4,000 milliliters of liquid soap, or 4 liters of liquid soap. The right answer is option D. Question 10. Polytank A contains 5,000 liters of water and polytank B contains 2,000 liters of water. So let's represent this information. We have two different polytank. We have polytank A and polytank B. We've been given the capacity or the volume of each of the polytanks. For polytank A, its volume or capacity was given as 5,000 liters. That of polytank B was given as 2,000 liters. So which of the following statements is true about the volume of water in the two polytanks? So we are comparing the volume or the capacity of water in the two polytanks. Now you will see that polytank A takes much water than polytank B. In other words, the volume of polytank A is bigger than the volume of water in polytank B. So by how much is polytank A bigger than polytank B? So to find how much polytank A is bigger than polytank B, we have to divide the volume of water in polytank A, which is 5,000 liters, by the volume of water in polytank B. So the liters will cancel out. Let's find out from the calculator. 5,000 divided by 2,000. So we have 5 on 2. But I want the decimal form. So let's press the SD. So we have 2.5. Now, can we convert 2.5 into a common fraction? So let's press Shift and the SD. So that will give us 2 and a half. 2 and a half. So 2 and half. So it is clear that polytank A contains 2 and half times as much as polytank B. That is, in terms of volume of water the two polytanks can hold. So the right answer is option A. Polytank A contains 2.5 times as much water as polytank B. That is the right answer. Thank you.